All right, Kenzie, welcome to the show. It's been a slow couple days. I don't really have anything to talk about.
Yeah, nothing big has happened, really. I'm kind of bored.
Yeah, no, I've just been surfing the internet.
I don't know what is happening right now. Like,
It is
I
absurd.
can't keep up with it.
I don't want to keep up with it. What do you think about that?
It's exhausting, truthfully. Like, I feel like yesterday was just an emotional roller coaster. You know, there were different times being thrown out on when the app was going to be banned, and like, I don't know. I'm like, do I keep doom scrolling just to get in a few more hours, or do I just call it now? You know, like, what's the point? Because all these videos are just people being like, oh, this is my last video. It was just sad.
And I'm like, so am I going to just stay on this thing until the lights go out? What's the point? I'm almost just feeding the hysteria.
But
so
then
I just went to bed.
But then it went dark like an hour and a half before it was supposed to.
I see. Okay, but also it came back before it was supposed to, and everybody knew it was going to. So the whole thing is just an exercise in propaganda. The Chinese government, first of all, they did not need to do that. Originally, the idea was going to be Sunday rolled around, like today happened.
Yeah.
And the app would be out of the store, but you would still have it, and over time it would degrade. This was told to me by people at TikTok when I went and met with them in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
This was a theatrical ploy on behalf of TikTok and the Trump administration.
Yes.
And I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I want to read the message that I got when the app first shut down. It said, important update from TikTok. We regret that a U.S. law banning TikTok will take effect on January 19th and force us to make our services temporarily unavailable. We're working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible, and we appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. I feel like that was very neutral, right? Like, it is what it is. But then when the ban actually happened, it said, sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. And this is the part where that got really like cryptic and just off to me. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Like,
yeah, that was super cringy.
Yeah, it was. It just...
And really unprofessional, right? Because that's not how an app should be. And so it almost spoke like Chinese propaganda to me.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and then another message came up today once the app was live again. I don't know how you want to call it, but it said, welcome back. Thank you for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's effort, who's not even president yet.
Right. He didn't even do it. Yeah.
TikTok is back in the U.S. You can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. Which, like,
what was his effort? He cashed the check?
I don't know, but like,
because there was a campaign donation.
Oh, well, but it's not even here to stay.
Not campaign, whatever they donated to.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But that's the thing too. Is first of all, not that we didn't already know this, but the real tell in all of this is they didn't even wait for Trump to come into office. If they really wanted to play their hand right and they didn't have the guts to do it, they would have left TikTok off until tomorrow and let Trump come in and turn it back on. But all they're doing is they're going, thanks to Trump, nothing happened. It was the middle of the night. TikTok was off for 12 hours. And then you're coming back and you're saying, thanks to Trump for getting this done, we're able to resolve this. But there's nothing being resolved and nothing has been resolved. And that's the real tell. Nothing has changed. He didn't do anything, literally. And I'm not saying that like as an anti-Trump thing. I'm saying that as nothing happened. This law was passed. Okay, all of the apps are out of the App Store, and all that would have normally happened is that everything would have slowly been a degraded user experience because the updates wouldn't be there, and it would have just happened. It would have eroded over time if there wasn't a solution.
Yeah.
Instead, they played this game of chicken, and TikTok is as guilty as the Trump administration. But they're playing a game as if this even needed to happen in the first place. And again, the real tell, they didn't wait for him to do anything. They didn't even give him the opportunity. I mean, they pulled the plug for a few hours. You said, Kenzie, they pulled it a couple hours early. They pulled it in the middle of the night for a few hours. And then it comes back, and they tell you that, oh, hey, Trump solved everything, but he didn't solve anything. Literally, it's going to be 90 days of a deadline extension, and quite possibly it'll shut down again.
Yeah.
All this is doing is buying more time, and his solution that he's proposing has already been, they've said multiple times they are not selling. So why do we believe that suddenly they're going to sell?
Right. Well, I guess around 12:30 today, TikTok policy put out on Twitter or X. It's verified, but that doesn't mean anything to me, honestly. But they said that they thanked President Trump.
Very threatening with the beanie. We have video, by the way. I gotta just say that. Like, I'm looking at you with the beanie, and you're very threatening. Don't smile.
I'll get into the story about the beanie in a second.
All right.
But,
I'm teeing it up. I'm a pro. But I'm just saying, like, and that you try to pass off. You're like smiling and laughing. Nobody's ever going to see this footage. But like, I'm testing the workflow of this thing, and she's got a beanie on. I didn't say wear a beanie. I'm wearing a beanie. So it's like when Lucy and Harpo were standing across from each other in the kitchen. It's like a mirror image. All right, because we both got these beanies on. But she's a little intimidating. Continue. I apologize.
Well, now I feel like I have to tell you where the beanie came from, or do I save that?
Save it.
Okay.
You're the producer.
Yes, I have a beanie on, but there's a story.
Yeah, I'm leaning back in 2025. You're the producer.
Anyway, so this TikTok policy account put out there, we thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and allowing over 7 million small businesses to thrive. So my understanding is that it's still banned, but they're not going to punish anybody for pushing the app out.
But he didn't say that. TikTok said that. To your point, right. You don't even trust the source. Did Trump come out and say that? No. Trump spoke to NBC last night and said, it's something we got to look at, and if I do something about it, I might do it Monday. I think personally that they're overstepping, and I think that China feels like that they've got Trump by the you-know-what.
Yeah.
And I could see this backfiring where Trump's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to touch it. Or lets it go 90 days knowing that he's going to just, because there's really nothing he can do. Everybody goes, oh, he's going to pass an executive order. He's going to institute First of all, if that's the first executive order he does, that's just disgraceful. That's more disgraceful than what I expected, number one. Number two, an executive order isn't going to stop the law. He can do an executive order not to enforce it, but it's not going to undo the law. So it still kicks it back to the same problem of who's going to own the company. And then he's suggesting that the U.S. has a 50% ownership in the company.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
China doesn't want that.
No, they would have already done that.
Yeah, of course.
That's what Trump wants. So, they would have done it, ByteDance or whatever it's called, if they were open to it.
But and then people are like, well, Trump's a businessman. I'm like, what?
A businessman who doesn't pay his taxes? What?
Well, yeah, but I mean, listen, a lot of people don't pay their taxes. So as much as I get the gripe, right? Remember when he made the comment, I'm smart, I don't pay my taxes? That's not untrue, right? These laws exist and people take advantage of them.
Yeah, because they can. I
can't fault somebody for taking advantage of the opportunity. Especially if you have that kind of money, and even though he doesn't have as much money as he thinks he has, or as much money as people think he has, all right, he still has way more money than most, and that adds up with when you circumvent the tax codes. And I shouldn't say circumvent the tax codes, but when you utilize the tax codes. And to his point, because he said that openly, when he was running initially.
Right.
And they all do it. He wasn't wrong about that. I mean, that wasn't some grand proclamation or anything, but he did state that out loud. So I can't, it becomes very easy. And I know you were just kind of making a throwaway, but it becomes very easy in this vilification environment to blame people for doing things that everybody does. Remember Rod Blagojevich?
No.
Rod Blagojevich wound up, he was a governor. He was the governor of Illinois.
Okay.
And he got arrested for selling his Senate seat. Not his Senate seat, but the state. When Barack Obama got elected,
yeah,
there was a seat that was available.
Okay.
And he got accused of trying to sell it, quid pro quo. Everybody does that stuff.
They just don't tell anybody.
Well, I think it was a combination of the way they go about doing it, and also he had a target on his back.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of the game they play. And that's the problem I have with the two-party system, is that they're at the end of the day, this is the one thing that the Republicans and the Democrats can agree on is to ban TikTok. You're telling me, Kenzie, that's the one thing that they can agree on?
I don't know why it's the one thing that they care about right now. I don't understand why this is the priority.
Such a valuable question to be asking, and nobody's asking it.
Or if they are, they're being hushed.
Well, so I don't know how much of it's China, and I don't know how much of it's investments in Meta. I don't know how much of it's Palestine. I don't know if it's the sum of all of those parts, which it very well could be. It could just be an overall lack of control over the narrative from the government, who's used to having their hands in everything, like Meta, like Twitter, like the regular media, traditional media.
So is Elon Musk buying ByteDance or TikTok or whatever?
First of all, it's not for sale, number one. Number two, he'd have to raise the money. And number three, wouldn't that become a monopoly?
I don't think he cares.
I don't think anybody cares, but I'm saying, I think that was just a rumor. But he better not.
Yeah.
I had enough of Elon Musk.
I
was just talking to Nick before this.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about, I was like, I'm waiting for the fallout. Because it's coming.
Yeah, of course. It's inevitable.
It's going to be a year.
I don't know.
Now tell me where this beanie came from. Now tell me where this beanie came from, because I can't take you seriously.
I know. Okay.
And I'm also trying to figure out what's going on up there. Is it a badge? Is it metal? Is it like fake leather?
It's a little like leather thing. Okay. So backstory.
Voice went up 3 octaves.
So, Brian, my fiance, is going through his process of groomsmen proposals. I've already done this. I've put together the boxes. I've given them to my bridesmaids. They've all said yes. I did this over a month ago. So I've been pushing him to do it because we have to send out our save the date soon, and we're just trying to go through the whole wedding process, whatever. But he wanted to ask all of his groomsmen with a bottle of bourbon, and to get, the best bottles of bourbon, you can't pick them up at, your local grocery store. They're rare releases and whatever.
Here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But we are only an hour and a half away from Buffalo Trace, the distillery. So we drove down there this morning. We knew we might be going, but they do a rare release on a rotation of 4 bottles every day. And there's this website that predicts what bottle might be released. And today we were predicting it to be one of the more common bottles called Weller. So we, it's 10 o'clock. I'm on standby. Are we going to go to Buffalo Trace? Are we not? And then he's like, I'm just going to go take a shower and just be prepared to go. And I'm like, fine. 10:30 rolls around and he's yelling from downstairs, Kenzie, it's E.H. Taylor, which is the most rare out of the 4. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And he's like, get in the car.
Oh, no.
I know. So I got ready really quick.
Wouldn't it make more sense to be halfway there when they're announcing that and then just decide if you're turning around?
I don't know. Maybe.
That's my strategy, but go on.
So he And the funny thing is that this rare bottle that he wants, he's not even giving it to the groomsmen. It was for his own collection. But while we were there, they sell bottles of Buffalo Trace. So we went down there to get the Buffalo Trace, but we were trying to also...
No, I get it. One's an excuse for the other. I know I'm as a collector, I can appreciate what's going on here.
Yeah. So we went down there, and of course I have to go with him because you can only buy one bottle per person. They scan your ID, and every 90 days you can purchase this bourbon.
Right.
So we went down there, got the 2 bottles, and then we got all of the additional Buffalo Trace bottles that he needs to ask his groomsmen. So it was a whole thing. But on the way there, we were looking on their website, and they do different kinds of tours of the distillery. I think there's like 4 different kinds. Well, there was an opening for a tour that he wanted to do at, I think, 2:30 or something. So he's like, I'm going to sign up for it. And I was like, okay, I'm not like dressed or prepared for these tours. They're outside for a good portion of it. So he's like, just buy a hat in the gift shop. I found a beanie in the gift shop. So I was like, you know what? $20 just to be warm? Sure. So
was that enough?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was like probably 25 degrees outside, but you're in and out of different buildings and stuff. But it's a really large, I think they call it like a campus. So you're walking around all these different buildings, but we were outside for a good portion of it, just walking from one to another.
If this wasn't like a podcast or radio, you would just say, I was cold, so I got a beanie.
Yeah, but I have to tell the whole story.
Right. But what we got, I'm like, literally looking, I'm like,
5 minutes in.
She's knocking off some minutes here.
What? You just said at the beginning of the episode, there's nothing going on.
No, there's literally nothing going. We're definitely not going to talk more about TikTok. I can appreciate the whole experience of that. I really can. I've done it in a variety of ways in life, not just with Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But I question the strategy. I don't know why you're waiting to rush out the door. If there's really the chance of something that good, I'd be halfway there and then I'd turn around and bail. That would be a better investment than the last minute panic. That just seems, I don't know why. It just seems crazy to me.
And the funniest part about the whole thing, so we went to the gift shop first before the tour, got the E.H. Taylor, put it in the car, whatever. Because you run into the risk of it selling out. It's the most rare out of the 4. Well, after our tour, it's probably, I don't know, like 4 o'clock at this point. There's still bottles left at 4 o'clock.
It happens. It happens. All that for nothing. But it could have gone the other way.
Yeah, it could have. It was fine. It ended up being a day. We were just going to lay around, and it turned into just a quick road trip. It is nice though that we have access to a place like this. There were people in our tour group that were from all over the country. And it's in our backyard. So
yeah, but it's a nice little like adventure. And it's cool that you guys do that where, it's not your thing, but you're like, I'll go for the ride. Literally. Like, I'll go.
Right. And I like the history of it. I think it's cool that it's something that's been around since, the mid 1800s, and they survived the Prohibition and everything. One of the only ones to survive it. So it was a fun thing for us to do today.
But do you drink bourbon?
No, I don't. I don't like it.
Will you taste it?
Yeah, I tasted it. We actually tried 3 different types of E.H. Taylor today. There was like a small batch and a single barrel and whatever. They all tasted the same to me, but I know that there's, some different flavors to it that I just can't point out.
They do different things. Like I've been to like a whiskey tasting where you put like the ice cube in it, and then there's different like ways you taste it. Do they get all crazy with that?
No, they don't, but they sell a bourbon cream that they offer with the tasting, and they make a root beer as well.
Like a moisturizing cream?
No, it's like a Bailey's.
Right.
Yeah, you rub it on your skin. But no, they tell you to mix the bourbon cream with the root beer, and it tastes like a, adult root beer float.
Okay.
Yeah. So just fun things like that, but nothing with like the ice cube and
That stuff gets very light.
Oh yeah, that's too much. But yeah, I mean, I know
way too much. Like for me, I'm like, okay, this is getting. I mean, I'm not that way with coffee, but I certainly get the addiction side of that. But when you get into like the ice cube, I'm like, it's too much. Let me just drink it. What do we? That's why I don't even like drinking games. Like in college, I'm like, drinking games, these are dumb. Like why are we complicating drinking?
It's just fun. Like what else are you gonna do in college?
Just drink. If you're gonna drink, just drink. But now I got rules. I'm not trying to work here. I'm drinking.
So you never played like Mario Kart?
What?
Mario Kart? You never played Mario Kart?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're about to play Mario Kart. I mean,
I got that. So
right as soon as the light goes off, you have to crack open your beer and you have to finish the beer before you cross the line.
Let me tell you something. The light went off a long time ago, Kenzie.
So no, it's funny because people will either like chug it and then do the full race, or they'll race and because you can't drink while you're racing. So
I'm not a fan of drinking.
You got to pick your strategy there.
I've played like beer pong and all this, and I like beer a lot. I'm not a fan of excessive drinking. Just to restate that. So then in turn, I'm not a big fan of all this other stuff. I mean, in college, obviously, I played with all this,
Right.
But I don't know.
I'm not doing it now, but it was.
Oh, I know you're not. But by the way, speaking of the now of it all, last week they're like, oh, drinking's
causes cancer.
A carcinogenic.
Yeah.
I'm like, we didn't know this? I thought we knew this. I'm like, what? How is this news?
I know. And then they ban like red dye 3 or whatever it is. I'm like, right. How is this like shocking to anybody?
Yeah, so they banned red. Now it's interesting because last Wednesday on the radio show, this is the podcast, that's the radio show. They're all podcasted, but if you're just keeping score, I was talking about processed stuff, and I think Melissa called in. We were talking about sunscreen. I was talking about all the stuff we put into our bodies, and I brought up makeup, and I was like, with women, there's so many dyes in the makeup and all of this, and I'm like, so I was talking about all the different dyes, and people and women don't think about what they're putting into their body with all the makeup, and then I get off the stream and I read that red number 5 is. And I'm like, to your point, I'm like, I mean, what is going on here? Like, I mean, so we've obviously known. So they said what, 2027 or something like that? You can have like another 2 years of.
Right, sometime soon. That I think it's just for manufacturers to play catch up, and
for sure, because you can't just pull the plug and then expect people to. But that can't be the only thing we're banning. It's got to be other food dyes. It can't just be red food dye. To the larger point about the makeup,
we'll find out when RFK Jr. comes in.
Well, but also it's got nothing to do with that, and I don't know. I guess my question really is why. I'm not questioning doing it. I'm glad they're doing it, but I guess it sort of becomes a why now, and why are you making that announcement days before a new administration because you don't want him getting credit for it and it's inevitable. In other words, I don't care for necessarily everything RFK has to say, but he's right about a lot of stuff. I just don't need him to be the guy in charge. But he's right about our processed food.
Yeah.
But this move with the food dye, the timing is off to me. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out what's obvious. There's a lot that seems to be going on. There's a lot of kneeling that seems to be going on these last couple of weeks with this new administration coming in. That's the only way I can describe it. There's a lot of kneeling.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I say that people just don't have backbones.
They never did. and Democrats certainly don't.
Right.
I mean, Democrats are half of the reason we're in this situation. If the Democrats would have run a half-decent candidate, we wouldn't even be in this situation. And also, by the way, TikTok would be gone. But then again, if the Republicans ran a half-decent candidate, TikTok would be gone. Not that I'm even advocating for that. The problem I have with all that, as I've stated 10,000 times, is just make a decision. Stop being, and stop wasting so much time on something that's so not important.
Yeah.
It's going to suck for me if TikTok goes away. But at least, like, I don't want to spend 90 days twisting in the wind.
Oh, yeah, they're jerking us in a million directions. So I can't even imagine from, like, a creator standpoint or people that, like, rely on this income, you know.
The audience doesn't care. The audience only cares about themselves. Oh, my God, I woke up and what did I do? Like, the audience doesn't get the creator side of it.
That was me. I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. But
I find that hard to believe with you because you have a life. You're joking.
Wait, I wish that Brian heard that because he thinks I have a problem.
No, because like you do though. I mean, maybe relative to other people, you have a life, and maybe from his perspective, you have a problem. So both could be true, right? But you don't really strike me as the kind of person that, it's a thing, but like you strike me as the kind of person you're like, oh, I'll just open Instagram.
No, Instagram doesn't know me. I feel like I try to separate, like the algorithm doesn't know me. It's like
I get it.
It's just not the same.
No, I get it, but I guess I don't watch TikTok. I mean, I'll scroll on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think for me, and maybe it's just part of the creator side, is at a certain point I can scroll on any of them and I don't care. It just becomes the same experience for me.
Yeah.
I don't use TikTok the same way.
Yeah. I mean,
because I usually want to be. I see some of these people that they're in TikTok all day long. They're making money off of it, and then when they're not live, they're caught up in 18 other lives. To me, I just want to disconnect.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very toxic.
Yeah. I think, obviously everybody has different experiences with the app, but, for me, I feel like I've gone through different lives since I've downloaded TikTok. When I first downloaded it, my partner got diagnosed with cancer. And it was like an outlet for me to go onto this app and have an ounce of joy and laugh. And then COVID hit. And then, it brought me a lot of happiness in the first few years of the app being around and being popular, and eventually it just turned into something that I just it was like a habit for me to just open my phone and just hit TikTok because I utilized it so much. And Brian had even said to me, oh, don't you think that this might be a good thing, for you to not have TikTok because then you won't be as glued to your phone and whatever. And I was like, as much as I don't want to admit that, yeah, probably. I don't know if I'll, to your point, I just opened Instagram this morning and was just scrolling through Reels. So I'm like, I don't know if I'll be on my phone less when I don't have it, but
I don't think you will. Because that's TikTok's the comment you made about TikTok not knowing you, or excuse me, Instagram not knowing you, is why TikTok is your preferred app. But at the end of the day, what it's actually giving you, you're going to get from another app, and it doesn't matter whether it's TikTok or not.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of nostalgia with TikTok, even though it's only been around for 5 years.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and there were people over the last 2 weeks that were posting trends from 2020 and 2021, and I was like, this is just pulling at my heart from a deep place that I tucked away. So I don't know, I just started to feel emotional about it, and then when it was gone this morning and most of the day today, I was I started to accept it, and then it came back, and I was like, "Oh my god!" We're going through this again.
Kenzie, you're not stupid.
I know. I just didn't think it was going to be that fast, and I think
sometimes
that's what caught me off guard.
You might be a step behind the 8 ball, but you're not stupid.
Yeah, I knew it was going to come back, but I only figured it was for a matter of time. So I don't know. I had a friend proactively
longer than that, though.
Yeah, right. I had a friend proactively delete it 2 days ago. She was like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm done. And I was
Smart.
good willpower on your end. I don't have that, but yeah, she was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just deleting it.
I have been stressed, and I've been stressed in a very weird way, I find, because that is I commend that willpower. You know, I've obviously been trying to diversify. You know all this already. So the short version is I've been already working towards, irrespective of the fate of TikTok, just doing things differently and widening things because it's inevitable and it's smart for business, etc. But if you're purely looking at this from a distribution standpoint, and for what I'm trying to accomplish, I guess in some ways that's all it really becomes. You're like, okay, I've got Instagram, YouTube, whatever, Twitch, but my primary distribution outlet, my number one winner, is TikTok.
Right.
And if you're going to take that away from me, just tell me. Like, I feel for the other people that haven't been down this road before, and you shouldn't act surprised because we've seen it coming. But I didn't expect to really care personally, even though it will have a massive impact on me, just because I was like, oh, here we go, time for a challenge.
Yeah.
I underestimated how numb I would be to this whole experience, and how stressed I would be by the indecisive nature of it all, and the way that they have played this as basically an overt manipulation has just stressed me out, because I just want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't fine. It's not that I don't care that you're going to cut off, 99% of my ability to make a living, but just cut it off. Don't tell me I have 90 more days of it, because like for me personally, I'm ready to do things and I just want to get into a groove. I don't want to start going down one way and then like start to hit my stride and have to like change direction. And even in terms of being diversified, that still exists for me from like a technical perspective, from just an overall like mentality, but a lot of it really just for me is workflow. So I'm stressed because I don't like the way it's happening, and I take umbrage with it, and I'm personally conflicted on it. A lot of people say to me, just go after that money. And I get that too. And a lot of people I really respect are saying that. But at the end of the day, like this whole thing of like people like who know better going on and saying goodbye, and feeding it, like I can't be a part of that.
Right.
And I don't want to be a part of that. And I don't want to do it again, and I'm not going to do it again. And I didn't go on at the end last night because I was tired of feeding it. And it's just not healthy. And then I'm watching people lash out at people over it because emotions are high, and emotions are high for no reason. And people care more about this than they care about real issues. So I just find myself wanting to remove myself from all of it. And I'm like, but you shouldn't do that, because even if there's 90 more days of it, like just get the money and move on to Twitch, YouTube, wherever, but like just get the money from the mechanism the best you can and move on. And somebody said that to me right before this program. And it's somebody that I really respect, and I'm starting to really think about what they said because of who they are. And I just look at that and I go, well, you know what? I'm really, really conflicted, but am I the bigger fool if while everybody else just, jumps right back into TikTok, if I just turn around and go, I'm taking the high road? Like, am I really going to be the fool? Or, irrespective of the fact that, like, this is all BS, like, get yours, because when it does go away, you are going to be stuck. So get it now and just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the stress for me of it all.
Yeah.
Like, that's like these last couple of days, Kenzie, I have drank, I drink a ton of coffee anyway. So if I'm telling you I've drank a lot of coffee,
it's more than like 3 cups a day.
I went to Dunkin' 3 times yesterday.
Jeez.
Okay. And the reason I go to the Dunkin', aside from just liking the coffee, like I could go to the Starbucks drive-thru, it would be the same thing. It's not even a matter of that at this point. There's actually just become it's become a routine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But just in the last few days, with this thing looming, and it's just become like a thing to like get you out the door. To like, I thought about walking there today because it's that close. It's maybe a little too far. It's really not. If you were in the city, it's not far at all. But as soon as you take yourself out of the city, everything changes.
Right.
And then it started to rain, so I didn't do it. But I was like, it just becomes this routine. And maybe I'll walk tomorrow. But it just becomes a routine to get out and to like clear your mind and like go do a thing. And it's attached to a Walmart. So sometimes I'll just go, all right, I need detergent. So I'll like go walk the aisles. And even if I'm going the long way, it's just like I'm just doing
just get out.
Yeah, because and then on top of that, you're getting messages from people. And I don't mind talking to people. Like, I do enjoy talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And my fault is I talk to too many people. And, but the whole thing just because, so I found myself yesterday. Excuse me. Do you hear that? Did you hear that? You couldn't hear that? It's funny. I could hear that. Well, at least you know the microphone's not that good. That might have been the coffee in my body moving around, but it was up here though. Anyway, it's very stressful, and I didn't expect it to be this stressful. And I think the part I know the part that's stressing me out is the wavering notion of it all. And I just don't have the energy to do it for 90 more days.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I remember somebody said to you, I don't know if it was yesterday or like a couple of days ago, I joined the live for a second before you were like, oh, Kenzie's here. We need to end the live.
And then I immediately got like
literally immediately you turned it off. No.
Yeah, but you know why, Kenzie? Because it was such a good excuse. Like, I wanted to end the live. I was just so, like, everything was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you're only going to say something that's going to make me say something I shouldn't say. So, like, all right, Kenzie's here. That's my cue. Because you're not, by the way, you're not going to stick around. You're just going to say something and then bail.
I do that a lot, yeah.
That's your MO. It's been your MO for 4 years. I've known you a while now. That's your MO.
I'm just being nosy. I'm like, what's everybody doing in here? And then I'm like, oh, there's crazy people out. I'm going to leave.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
I mean, yeah, anyway, I could say something, but I'll save it for off the air. Go on.
No, somebody asked you the question, did everybody put all of their eggs in one basket with TikTok? And it's like, I started to think about that from my own perspective because I'm not a content creator, but I understand how the business works. And it's like, with this type of platform, how large it is and how much people are, I feel like TikTok takes care of their creators. I, hear about how horrible it is to try to, sorry, my dog's barking, to make $1 off
Sounds like a PA announcement.
My dog?
I just hear like it's like
Oh, I don't know.
Like
anyway,
the train's arriving or is it departing? What's going on?
I don't know what's happening.
Anyway.
No, but I think TikTok takes care of their creators, and it's like, why wouldn't you use that platform while it was available? I don't think a lot of people knew that it was going to go away. So if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, I think it's just been a reliable app for income for most people.
So there's putting your eggs in one basket. In other words, if you didn't, when I started, I didn't even want an Instagram, and I didn't have an Instagram. But I also didn't think I'd be doing this for as long as I was. So then I got the Instagram, and I started pushing people to Instagram. And then I was like, well, I'm not even like going live on Instagram, and I was trying to get a reason. And then you realize people just want to find you where you are. But like, this was my experience of learning what this is all about. And even though you're there, it's only till a moment like this that some people find you. In other words, some people are going to follow you. Oh, you're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I follow you. But generally speaking, everybody expects you on TikTok. So even if you have however many people you have on Instagram, everybody knows you for being on TikTok. So the bulk of the business is on TikTok. So even if you have an audience elsewhere, okay, even if it's a fraction of what you've got, it's still starting over in terms of trying to make a living. Because if TikTok's where you're at, TikTok's where you're making your money, it's kind of hard to do them all unless you have a team.
Right.
I don't know. I'm stressed. I want to go get another cup of coffee after. I'm stressed.
I don't think that makes you like a fool or anything, though, if you did utilize the platform for another 90 days, because it's where the bulk of your
I know, but it's 90 days of basically
doing all this all over again.
It's not, because the way that the lives work on TikTok is you make money off of people gifting and subscribing.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you to subscribe. Did I just say it wrong?
No, say what?
Did I say subscribe right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that word comes out of my mouth and it sounds like such a weird word to
subscribe.
me. Subscribe. I don't know. Sometimes it comes out of my mouth and it just sounds like the weirdest word. I don't know why.
That's like when I say like February. Like it looks like February.
Which it is. It's February. But I never say it that way.
No, it's February.
That's what I say. But people always tell me, no, it's February. And I'm like, nah, it's February. It's kind of like I say library. And people are like, it's not library. I'm like, I'm not adding that extra R.
You say that?
I say library. Library. I get that extra R in there, but I just kind of push it out of the way. At library. It's there. It's in there.
I'm fascinated with this concept that people say things differently based on like where they're from.
Like water and water.
Like I say drinking fountain. But people say water fountain.
I say soda fountain.
No, not soda coming out of it. Whatever.
Not yet.
Now we're getting into the weird technical.
We're off the rails.
Yeah. Wait, so subscribing on TikTok.
Anyway, so you're going to ask people to sub knowing that they're that it's possibly going away, and then you're asking people to gift knowing that you're leveraging the emotions of it all, and it starts to weigh on my conscience. And then on top of it, people will be like, they support you, and then 2 days later they'll remind you that like, hey, I'm broke because I supported you. And comments like that, it's like, who
says that?
A lot of people do.
Well,
a lot of people make those kind of comments.
That's not your problem.
I know, but like sometimes I look at all this and I go, why are you contributing to this? Like if you really like.
That's really blunt of me to say that. That's just like kind of rude. It's
really blunt of me to say what I said, but you know what? That's why we have a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you're only half on the show because you're actually the one leaning out of camera. I told you I would be the one leaning out of frame this whole show. You just showed up.
I didn't even know I was leaning. Okay, let me move.
It's fine. But like honestly, maybe because if I was on that side, I feel like I'm not even.
No, I see both of us in full frame.
I'm really like, despite the low lighting on my side, the camera quality on my side is really impressive. Maybe yours is just so bad.
Yeah, you were just like chirping all over my camera quality. I'm like, I don't know what year my laptop's from. Does it matter?
I just like to give you a hard time because you give me a hard time.
Yeah, I know. But you had to pick that?
I mean, low-hanging fruit, man.
Not like what's going on in my background, like.
No, because there's nothing going on in your background. There's not even enough to talk about, and I'm not going to mock the beanie because I
have my walking pad over here with my desk,
solidarity.
Which when you called me on FaceTime audio the other day, I was like walking on my desk. You're like, I don't want to see that. Like,
you set that up like a shot. You were like, I'm gonna purposely accidentally have my camera on and be walking, so I can, and then like try to sell me on.
Because you called via FaceTime, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Okay,
is that a treadmill under the desk, like a?
Yeah, it's a walking pad.
Two separate pieces, so you just put a walking pad under a desk you liked?
Yeah, well, I've had the walking pad, and then I'm at my work desk, but behind me is my treadmill. And then for Christmas, I asked Brian for just like a portable desk, so it moves.
But does the desk go up and down?
Yep.
With a button?
It just has like a little lever, but I'm planning to keep it at one level because.
Okay. Because like, don't some treadmill desks like the desk goes up and down with.
Yeah, but I really like my working desk, so I was not going to replace that.
I want a walking pad. I really do.
They're great. I mean, it's making me like, if I'm just mindlessly doing something for work or like even just watching a show, you don't even realize how much you've been walking.
Now you're going to watch Shawshank Redemption later, you told me?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Will you be on the walking pad for that?
No, we'll set it up in our basement. We have like a big projector that we put up on the screen. And we were like,
think about, it's a long movie. I'm just saying you could get a lot of steps in.
I could. I have already been on a distillery tour today. I've done enough walking.
Really? Did you chart your steps?
Let
me tell you something. My steps are down. Yours are up. Okay.
I'm at 5,200.
Wow. Look at you go.
I know. Which, like, honestly, this is pathetic, but my step goal has been 5,000 steps a day. And I know that sounds like just sad, but for somebody that works a desk job from
I get it.
9 to 5, it's hard to do that.
Well, I feel like we've gone completely off the rails here.
Yeah, we have.
So just to bring it back, so the idea that you're on TikTok and you're basically like just there like with your hand out for 90 days, like, well, I'm here, I don't know what's going to happen, but keep supporting me, even though it's like, I don't know, I feel conflicted about that.
Yeah.
And I know, like, on the Discord, people were already like, do I resub? Like, and I'm so appreciative that there's people that want to just be so supportive. Like, even when I set up Twitch, people are already subscribing. And I appreciate the support. I really, really, really do. But I don't want people to, A, support when they can't afford it. B, don't want people to support China at this point, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And C, I don't want to keep having people having like to support 18 different places. Like, I want to be cohesive about it just from a business perspective. And I've already got sort of internal logic that I'm trying to resolve when it comes to the revenue streams. And I don't need to get into all that on the podcast. So for me, just looking at this whole thing, I'm just like, again, just make up your mind, because I don't want to deal with 90 days of this. And I don't have it in me to do 90 days of please support me in a place that might be gone soon. I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think, this message goes out to everybody that is listening.
Are you about to rap?
Yeah. This is the part where the rap breaks down. No, kidding.
Oh, my Lord.
I just cut that out, please.
No, I'm going to cry. I'm not cutting anything out. I might cut it out, but not to admit it.
No,
That's gone right there next to Ella saying, hey now. Actually, I should do that. What time was that?
No, don't do
47.
that. Don't do that. Don't you have to do ads or something? No.
I do, but finish your thought.
Yeah. No, I hope everybody is mindful when they're asking you all the questions about what's going. You actually did write that down. Oh my God. No, I hope people are mindful and just
turning off this camera
and respectful that you don't have the answers. Like, you're just trying to make a living. And I think when people are like, what's going to happen in 90 days? What are you going to do? All that stuff. It's like, how can you how can you even plan for this?
People have only asked what other platforms I'm going to be on. Nobody thinks about it from the business perspective of like, are you going to survive? There's no unemployment. And whether you like what I'm doing or how I make a living, it's how I've made a living. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm on these other platforms. But it's not going to – if I just stop streaming on TikTok and just stream on Twitch or stream on YouTube, do you know it's going to take months, if not over a year, to get back to making what I make a month in TikTok on a good month, on an average month?
Right.
To make that on you. I mean, that's why, to have a private conversation publicly without going there, that's why the things that I've been saying lately, because it's just, I don't have the energy. Yeah. And from the perspective of scale, you're like, oh, okay, I can get there. And there's actually more upside. Like, YouTube has the better potential. If you're talking about diversifying your revenue, YouTube, there's upside there. So that's why I'm saying at this point, we can do these things. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about like me just by myself, like trying to rebuild what I built, it's literally, it's impossible. It's impossible. Anybody will tell you that. To go like, I'm going to go from TikTok 650,000 followers to Instagram with 8,000 or YouTube with 5,000 and make the same kind of money. It's not possible.
Yeah.
So I just don't want 90 days of uncertainty. Tell me it's over so I can move on.
Do you think in 90 days, we have this extension that it's really going to be over?
I
And I know I just told everybody not to ask that question, so that's just me being a hypocrite.
And I was really going to answer you with an ad break, but like I thought about it. But you know, the issue for me is if you have said all along that you're not going to divest it, you're not going to sell it, then what is the 90 days for? If we're going to come back to the same thing, in other words, so then if you tell me that no, now we will sell it, but we'll only sell it to this person, or no, now we're giving in and we're changing our terms because of Trump, whatever, then I got to question your motive all along. And I'm already questioning that.
Yeah.
So the whole thing just reeks. It's pathetic. We need to be taking care of our people. We need to be taking care of those who are suffering around this country, whether we're talking about people that are losing their homes in Southern California or people that are still trying to recover in North Carolina, or just the homeless people or our veterans who do not get the treatment they deserve when they come home. Or if we're talking about our first responders, if we're talking about our teachers who have to come out of pocket for school supply. Like, there's so many, gun control, there's so many issues in this country we could be talking about. You could pick anything that I just rattled off, and it's more important than TikTok.
By miles.
And I say that at the expense of my livelihood, because I don't mind rebuilding. Been there, done that. It's going to be a lot harder for a lot of other people, and I've gone through the mental health exercise before, so I am truly numb to this. It does royally suck. Mm-hmm. When I explained to you that going to get that cup of coffee is probably the only thing that's keeping me sane these last 2 days, Kenzie, like I swear to God I mean it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just driving me nuts.
Right.
The uncertainty, especially because I just built this whole setup and I'm ready to implement it, and now you're like effing with my workflow. And I'm a workflow person. You can relate to that. Yeah,
it's just, it's so frustrating to your point, like this is their priority right now. And, you know, I feel like the last election was all about the job market, unemployment rate, things like that. You're putting people out jobs in this.
But and we just went through this with the pandemic. So if it's really going away, and I think in 90 days it goes away again, look, I said all along I didn't think it was going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're even at 50-50 and we're going to kick the can another 90 days, it doesn't help. In other words, the fact that we're at a coin toss, everything with this president's a coin toss, this president coming in. Okay? So just the whole thing is it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I don't even feel like I'm making a cohesive statement right now, but I'm just being real with you. Like, I tell everybody that I'm not worried because I'm not worried. But also at the same time, like, it's the undue stress of the way it's playing out. And that's the part of it that kind of like makes me sick to my stomach, because I went through this with the pandemic, the uncertainty of not knowing how long it was going to be until I lost everything.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm wired for it, but it doesn't mean I'm enjoying it. Like, honestly, the only thing I'm enjoying is the coffee. Like, and I keep going back to that because it's like it's
the little things.
I like my garden.
Mm-hmm.
You said Brian likes
bourbon.
Bourbon. I don't know why I was going to say tequila. Could you imagine if you liked tequila? That'd be a very different morning.
Yeah, that would. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, very different everything.
We'd be going to Mexico.
Yeah.
That's not that. That's just being real.
I've seen that footage. So. Those are my two. I'll call them the two C's: the coffee and the other one. And so those two things are my stress relievers.
Yeah.
If you pick up what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe you actually don't. I'm looking at your face.
No,
you have
I know what you're talking
stare.
about. We talked about this, I feel like 2 weeks ago or something.
I don't know. But yeah, so it's sort of like you're self-medicating, right? Because I don't know what else to do. So you find this little habitual thing that you latch onto for a sense of stability.
That was me with TikTok during COVID. I was like, this is just like an ounce of happiness that makes the world of a difference. Like, I don't know. I mean,
Well, you know what? Do you remember when you sent me that text message like a couple years ago? What a random statement.
yeah, like I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, but you sent me a message along the lines of something about what the live meant for you and how and you were like, all right, I got the pitchforks, where are we going, and all this kind of stuff.
We ride at dawn.
Right. And it's just funny because I still don't get, after all this time, you know, people were coming in yesterday, even though it was the goodbye tour that didn't need to be, and saying thank you, you know, you got me through this, you got me through that. I underestimate all that. And I still to this day do. And it's fantastic that it was able to provide that for people. But the irony now that it is the thing that is causing the stress in more ways than one, yeah.
Yeah. It's
that I'm literally hanging on to a cup of coffee. Like, just the exercise of going to get it, because I just realized I'm like, it's just because I know it's there.
Well, I feel like it's just something where I'm like this. I don't know if you are, but it's just something to check off my list as like a small accomplishment, you know? And there's like familiarity with it. If you're doing it on a routine basis, like you're going out, you know what to expect. So it's like a comfort level where you get in your car, you drive there, you know exactly where it is, you know what coffee you're getting, you know how it tastes. And
especially if it's actually like tied to a reward. Like if I knocked enough things off my list.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do this. This is my, you know. So it just, and that's where I go back to just having such an appreciation for the people that get up at 4:00 in the morning for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
I got to do the ads really quick. Oh, yeah, it's a new year, which means it's time to spice up your kitchen. Pampered Chef has all the goodies: spatulas, mandolins, amazing pots and pans. They got knives, too. What could you do with knives, Kenzie? I can think of stuff. Plus, don't miss out on small appliances like the deluxe air fryer and coffee maker. Spice up your kitchen today. Go to pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. With no estate plan, you could be leaving those you love the most with high taxes, probate fees, and an incomplete or divided estate, and legal fights and fees. If you live in Florida, contact RK Law today for a free consultation to discuss the options and tools you have available to protect your home, savings, and estate for those you love the most. To get started, send an email to russell@rklawpro.com. That's russell@rklawpro.com, or call 786-566-2456 today. Last minute shipping from the parks. Go visit my friends at the UPS store. That is located at 6526 Old Brick Road, located right behind the Magic Kingdom. That's the UPS store located at 6526 Old Brick Road. They've got a notary, P.O. boxes, packing services, of course, and a copy machine, which from time to time you'll find me helping run. Actually, it was just one time, but that's not the point. Anyway, that's that ad. As always, William Bailey Travel is available to help you with any of your destination planning, Disney cruises, Disney, or just a cruise. William will help you plan a customizable, competitively priced experience. Check out William Bailey Travel. You can go to my website, royces.com, to fill out the travel form. That's royces.com. Or email him at william.bailey@academytravel.com, william.bailey@academytravel.com. It's a lot.
I think I ruined my headphones.
Focus, please. Focus. Why? What happened?
Can you hear me okay still?
Yeah, but your headphones would have no impact on me hearing you.
Well, now the output is coming from my computer, so you can hear it in the microphone. So I didn't know if that messes it up.
No.
Okay.
As long as it's not too loud.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can wrap it up soon. I mean, we're supposed to really do 2 ad breaks, but...
I don't know what I did. I'm messing things up per usual.
Whatever. It's fine. I feel like I've said it all when it comes to TikTok. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And in many ways, just makes me want to, like... Look, I've just put a lot of time and energy to building something. I don't need to use it for me. I could use it for somebody else. It's the backbone for a business, but in many ways, like I'm just tired of being like the guy, you know, because like the thing with social media is like there's a face, and when I started the channel, I didn't even want my face involved.
Yeah,
and it's just sort of now it's just like I don't know. I mean, I get it, and I like my audience, and I like talking to people, and I really do. I enjoy getting messages from people, but then at the same time, I'm like, stop messaging me. And it's like, I can't teach you how to, like, be an editor for your messages. Like, I don't need 25 people, and really, let's be honest, it wasn't 25, but it was a lot of people sending me screenshots of the app not working. Like, I'm aware. I have it too.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not IT. So what are you telling me? Like, what am I supposed to do about it?
Fix it. Go to DC and talk to Congress.
I just want to crawl into a hole. I just, it's exhausting. It's unnecessarily exhausting.
I know.
And there are so many more important things.
Yeah. And I feel like this isn't even, not to like, you know, make things worse, but I just feel like this whole week is about to be exhausting.
Oh, I know. And tomorrow is going to be like a full-fledged reality show because it's going to be like, once he's in office, what's he going to do? And, you know, the whole thing, it's like The Apprentice.
You're fired. Yeah, I'm just avoiding any news outlet. I'm going to be watching my football team plays in the national championship tomorrow night. I'm just trying to block all of it out.
Now, are you going to wear the beanie on a regular basis?
It's kind of warm. I mean, we're getting into like the single digits this week, so I don't know. It's kind of nice.
Oh, you lagged there for a minute. I know what you said, but got a little buffering there. You sounded like a robot.
Well, I was just saying that we're going to be in the single digits this week, and it's kind of nice and warm. So I don't know if I can wear it on my work calls. It'd be interesting to see what would happen if I did.
I don't know. Yeah, no, you got to be more corporate, right?
I don't know. Like I'm just wearing like a sweater and sweatpants. Like this is my pretty normal attire from working from home, but
I mean, if you're cold, you're cold. Who can tell you no? Is it the type of hat that would be the issue?
I think it's just wearing a hat in general.
Like you went on work call with like one of those big fancy hats, like those big round brimmed hats.
I don't know. Like I don't think we've ever gone through like a dress code for Teams calls.
Wear the beanie.
I guess we'll see. I don't have work tomorrow because it's MLK Day.
You're representing the beanie anyway.
Yeah, but
respect.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Who knew?
I understand.
You're pulling it off. What'd you say?
I understand now.
Oh yeah. But okay. So do you see that I keep pulling down this beanie like this?
Yeah.
I was explaining this to somebody yesterday on the live. I don't know if you have that issue, but like it starts to slip. And I like the feeling. There's a comfort to this whole area back here where the beanie's hugging the back of your neck.
Well,
so I like to kind of pull it down. It's very comforting.
I don't know. I think this is like a one size fits all. So I think it's a larger hat. Plus, it like you can like fold it and stuff. But like it still has like my head comes to here, and there's like extra room. It's meant to be like a larger.
It's more like a ski hat. It looked more like a beanie until you did that. Does it actually have a pom-pom on it?
No, but it has like extra fabric at the top. But yeah, it kind of reminds me. I mean, I still snowboard, but I used to hang out with all the cool snowboarding kids in Michigan. That's what
you do look like a snowboarder. I feel like I
look like a cool, edgy like snowboarder right now.
It does right now. It's changing your whole demeanor. I'm telling you, you look a little threatening. Now, by the way, speaking of the opposite of threatening, this is the perfect segue. So I'm scrolling on Instagram a few days ago.
Okay.
And this picture comes up of like this very like pleasant looking individual. And I was like, oh, that's a very pleasant look. And I just mean that in a very like a friendly, approachable individual. And it turned out to be your sister. And I'm like, that girl's not that approachable. But it was like she looked like human.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know what picture it was, but I was like, oh, like, look at her. Like she looks approachable. Like, you know.
Oh my God. I wish I knew what you were talking about.
I wish I knew which photo I was talking about too, but like she looked warm and like inviting. Normally she like now you look threatening and she's looking in like, warm and welcoming. And I don't know what's going on.
We're very versatile. I don't know what I can say. It depends on the day.
No, but usually,
I pick out my outfits based on the level of threat I want to, put out there.
look, usually, and I'm just giving your sister a hard time because I know she can take it.
I know,
So, I hate to ruin it by saying this, but like, usually she just looks like so unapproachable. Like she just doesn't look happy. Okay, she looks miserable. And in this picture, she looked adorable. Honestly.
Oh,
are
you talking about her Run Disney pictures?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and find it and share. But like her cheeks were like all like alive. Like that's the only word. Like she looked human. And I was like, who is this pleasant human being on my feet? I didn't know I was friends with any pleasant human beings. And then I'm like, oh, that's just lighting. Like,
It's too funny. Yeah.
She's a good kid. But no, she I don't even know how old she is. But like she's friends with me on Instagram, so these things pop up, and usually they're very dark. Like she'll post a picture.
Tend to have RBF.
No, but not even that. Like she'll like mean to post something that's like not dark, and it'll come off dark. She'll be like, I got my special drink today. This is my self-care moment. But like it's just like a really like scary looking photo of like a Starbucks drink.
It's funny because when she came to visit me like right before the holidays, we went and got coffee, and she was like setting up all of her stuff to like take a picture, and she puts her like arm out and takes it like she takes a video and then screenshots a picture from her video. I think it's some type of like Gen Z technique. I don't know. She's not even in Gen Z. She's a millennial.
Are you the same age?
No, I'm 4 years older than her.
Okay. First of all, do you do that stuff?
No.
Yeah, you don't strike me as that. You strike me as like pick the phone up, take the picture.
And I take maybe 1 or 2 pictures. But she was like putting her arm out and like posing and stuff. And Brian's just making fun of her, which I like just thoroughly enjoy. But
I know that's why I do it too.
But he was just like she posted, I think like, a couple of weeks later, it was New Year's Eve, and she posted like her vision board for the year, and Brian said,
she's a vision board,
and Brian commented on it and was like, get a new arm pose for 2025 because she does the same one. Like,
first of all, he's hilarious. Okay, that's hilarious. And also, she doesn't strike me as this type of person. Like, she doesn't. Like, it's so funny. Like, outwardly, she is not that person. Like, the social media self-indulgent vision board type.
Yes.
That is not her.
Yes, it is.
No, I know, but I mean, like, outwardly, she just looks too miserable for that stuff.
I wish she could like retaliate here.
Oh, I mean, what was she going to say? She's going to call me ugly? She's not going to tell me anything I don't know. That's what she would say.
Like,
she's
enjoy
mean.
life without TikTok.
Whatever. She's mean to me, so I don't care. No, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's me, and it's quite possible with the things I'm saying. But she just generally seems miffed.
She loves to harp on the fact that she's a Slytherin. Like the houses in Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, I know what they are.
Like she likes to be, and she loves Disney villains. Like,
but
that's
I
just
would
her.
be Slytherin. I'm not a Harry Potter person, but I would be Slytherin.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
What do you think I would be?
Maybe a Ravenclaw.
Really?
Yes.
Not that I even really know the distinctions, but I always figured I'd be Slytherin.
Go take the house quiz when you're done with this podcast.
Take it right now. Pull it up. How many questions is it?
I don't know. Or didn't we are we out of time?
Yes. Put it on the list of things we'll never talk about.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, but seriously, like, why? I don't even know what the difference is. Can you at least tell me what the difference is between them?
I mean, Slytherin is very much like... Oh my God,
your quality just got like 8-bit. You look like a Nintendo character.
I feel like Slytherin is, a lot of the dark, sinister villains. Like Voldemort was a Slytherin. But...
Right.
And, like, please do not take this as a compliment. But Ravenclaw is someone that has a lot of wit, cleverness, creativity, and motivation.
I'd rather be the villain.
Like Ravenclaw, I picture as like the people in like political science and, you know, just like, I don't know. That's just
Whatever
how I
site
view
you're
them.
searching right now is hogging up your bandwidth. Whatever site you opened up has heavily affecting your Wi-Fi.
It was
because
BuzzFeed.
you're literally like 8-bit.
It was BuzzFeed.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous.
Well, you
You're very
made me
proud of
put my
yourself.
camera on.
But I'm like, well, because I wanted to do video and I wanted to. I'm testing something. I got an interview coming up Tuesday and I wanted to trial video.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
normally I don't get ready on Sundays, so I'm gonna have to rethink this. Like, I don't like do like my hair and my makeup.
Well, first of all, you can wear the beanie, number one. Number two, we haven't committed to doing video on the podcast yet.
That's
true. We'll get there. This was a test. I will pull the clip though of you rapping. But
no,
it will be
please
audio.
don't. Please, I regret.
I have it right here.
I regret it. Ugh.
It's at 47 minutes.
We just need to end it.
All right, hold on. Speaking of ending it, let me do the ads one more time. So really, like, I just want to get through tomorrow at this point. And if we're doing 90 more days of this, and it's still up in the air, right? Like, I mean, Trump hasn't really said anything, so who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But just tell me what we're doing. And I just want to come out the other end of tomorrow already with, like, an understanding of, even if it's the next 90 days, just tell me what we're doing. And that's just where I'm at. I'm just like, just get me through tomorrow, you know? One day at a time. Good chat. It's a new year, which means you're going to spice up your kitchen. I'm not even asking you. I'm telling you. Go visit Colleen, what's her name? Colleen Herman. Colleen Herman, pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. No, I overthought it. What are you laughing at? It's Colleen Herman. It's pamperedchef.com. Don't leave me dead on the air, Kenzie.
Start over.
I'm not editing this out either. Oh, my Lord. I can't see. I have tears in my eyes. I can't see.
Unhinged episode.
Well, it fits the weekend. Listen, it's a new year, which means it's time to spice up your kitchen. Pampered Chef has all the goodies from spatulas, mandolins, and amazing pots and pans. Knives. They got knives, Kenzie. Plus, don't miss out on all the small appliances like the deluxe air fryer, the coffee maker. Spice up your kitchen today. Colleen Herman, pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. I'm out of breath. With no estate plan, you could be leaving those you love the most with high taxes, probate fees, an incomplete or divided estate, and legal fights and fees. If you live in Florida, contact RK Law today for a free consultation to discuss options and tools that you have to protect your home, savings, and estate for those you love the most. To get started, send an email to russell@rklawpro.com or call 786-566-2456. That's russell@rklawpro.com, 786-566-2456. Last minute shipping from the parks. UPS store, 6526 Old Brick Road, located behind the Magic Kingdom, 6526 Old Brick Road. It's the UPS store. You know what they do there, right? The boxes, the shipping, the packages, the Amazon returns, the copies, the P.O. boxes, all these things and more. 6526 Old Brick Road, William.Bailey Travel. You want to do it? He'll help you out. Disney Cruises, customizable travel experiences, competitive rates, William.Bailey Travel, William.Bailey@academytravel.com, or go to Royces.com, fill out the travel form on my website, William.Bailey@academytravel.com, or go to Royces.com. I'm done.
That was thoroughly enjoyable.
I'm like dying. I'm like choking back tears, and now like, forgive me for the unprofessionalism. I apologize.
Well, part of this has been professional.
Certainly not the part where TikTok said, thanks to President Trump.
Yeah.
I was like, that just makes me feel like we're living in an alternate universe.
Propaganda.
But it's so blatant Chinese propaganda. Do you know what I mean? Like, China's like, it's just, I don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, what time is it?
7:13.
I could actually go get another coffee. Is that too much?
I mean, I can drink coffee any time of the day with no impact
Same.
on my sleep.
But I mean, I can make coffee here, but there's just like we talked about, there's the thing.
Do you have like an espresso machine or like a nice coffee machine?
We're not going to use this video, right? I'm
just
flipping
asking
Kenzie
what your
off.
setup is there. Like,
No, I'm flipping you off because I just wanted to see if you could count how many fingers I was holding, and I figured one was a good number to start.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go get the coffee then.
No, I do have an espresso maker, and I'm appreciative of that.
I have an unpopular opinion, though. I don't care for iced coffee.
A lot of people don't. It's an acquired taste, especially if you are drinking it black.
Yeah, I have to but I drink black coffee when it's hot, but iced coffee, I have to have like a little bit of something in it, but I've never found anything that is like perfect.
We'll splash of bourbon.
Maybe like that bourbon cream. Oh, that would actually be really good.
Is there bourbon in the cream?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought maybe it's a bourbon cream. I don't know.
No, there's bourbon in it, but I don't know. I just feel like
All right.
we're talking about iced coffee.
I feel like this conversation has it ended like 40 minutes ago. Probably ended before it started. But it's a fitting episode because the absolute uncertainty and emotional roller coaster that this has been these last couple days, on top of the fact that we all know better, but you can't disconnect from it, you know? It's like every time I jumped in the live and went back on live, it's just like you're stuck in a loop. And Leah kept saying, well, just ignore it. I'm like, I can't even go on Twitch and ignore it. It's just going to bleed over because it's going to be the same people, right? And it's just like, you just want to just let me get through tomorrow and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah. It's almost like you wish you could just put a Post-it note on your forehead, like, please stop asking me about TikTok.
But it's pathetic to me how many people did like actual goodbyes who knew it wasn't going anywhere. This is my last stream. Like, I was joking. I made a last video. But, like, people are I'm signing off for the last time. Like, shut up.
Well, I think everybody, including me, was going through all of their favorite content creators just to see what people were saying. So,
yeah.
People were expecting these videos.
No, I get that, but that's still feeding the problem, right? Because it's a
I'm
fake
not saying
hysteria.
it's not, but
I saw people pop in, and I'm thinking, what are you doing here? Like, I saw people pop in, like, they didn't speak, but they pop in, I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you watching? Like, you just want to see what I'm going to say so you can use it against me? Like what do you know what I mean? And then somebody else popped in and was like, just end it already. Like, stop panhandling. And I'm like, panhandling? Like, I'm not sitting here for that. If anything, I'm like begging you to go follow me elsewhere, and not because, I'm desperate, but because people keep asking. So I'm only here at this point to like advertise.
Yeah.
Because I was really begging. Let's hit those gift goals. Bless you.
Thanks.
It just drives me nuts. I think I made $10 yesterday on TikTok.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like
spent it all at Dunkin'.
Well, and it's like, I'm not expecting anybody to stick around and listen or watch. Like, if you don't want to watch, then bye.
Yeah, but just like haters till the end. And a lot of that toxicity just comes out of the model that is TikTok.
Yeah. Here's to 90 more days.
A lot of people just hate the way it's structured, and I can understand that. So anyway, 90 more days, Kenzie. I'm going to let you go. I know you got stuff to do. Thank you for the wrap. I look forward to that'll be the one video that I post on TikTok.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't.
It'll be a subscriber only video. I'm gonna raise my subscriber rates to $20 a month and make that a subscriber only video.
Honestly, that's fine. I just want to see a little bit of the profits.
Okay, only a little, 5%.
Let's do like 45.
Due to Kenzie's cooperation, the video of Kenzie rapping will be released to subscribers on TikTok. We'll see you next time. You get the last word.
I don't even know what to say.